If you've had any interest in setting up audio hardware, an audio processing rack like I made a video about, connecting multiple PCs into a mixer in general, or just trying to run a bunch of devices across each other, you may have run into some issues with static, hissing, or electrical hum. Thankfully, there's a few ways you can avoid that, or at least remove it from your signal, and I'm hopefully going to show you my top recommended ways to clean up your audio in audio hardware situations as quickly as possible. This video will involve 3 products and then 1 just conceptual, in-practice means of avoiding the audio. First and foremost, let's start with the practical idea, and that is your audio hardware, be it a mixer board, a recorder, or a full rack of a compressor, EQ, and mixer like I have, needs to be isolated from the outlet, or at the very least the power strip that computers and lights are plugged into. This is the most common problem, is that ground loop hiss and hum ends up getting caused when you have your audio hardware plugged into the same power connection as your computers or lights. Now, the super serious recommendation, of course, is to completely isolate that hardware on a completely separate circuit from your other electronics. However, in a home setup, that's pretty much impossible. But what you can do is either, for certain, like I said, make sure it's on a different power strip than your other hardware, or make sure it's from a different outlet itself. What I have done is most of my computer hardware and lights are plugged into outlets on one side of the room, so I've ran a long extension cord from a power outlet on the other side of the room, wrapped it around the wall to my audio rack, so that's all separate. Like, there's still a printer and a light plugged in over there, but it's still on a separate power strip, and it generally isn't as heavy and as interfering as my main computer setup. Another way you can help with this is the first product I'm going to recommend here, which is a power conditioner. Now, mine is specifically a rack mounted unit. It is 1 U tall to go in my audio rack setup. That's generally where they're used, but it's basically like a power strip, but designed to create a more isolated and conditioned circuit for audio hardware to keep the interference and the static and the hum and the hiss from getting into the audio. It provides much more consistent and clean power to devices to prevent some of those common audio artifacts, basically. Mine is an old Furman M8X squared or something or another, but there's plenty of options out there available, and they're all pretty good. If you can't get one of those power conditioners, or if for whatever reason, like in my case, it doesn't quite do the full job that you need, you can pick up a specific outlet-based power conditioner as well. Now, EBTech or EBTech did agree to sponsor me for a couple of these units, as they are quite expensive. And I will open this one up here, but they're Hum X units. I bought one, and then they sent me out 3 more, and then I bought this one as well, because I needed one more extra one. These are ground loop isolators and ground loop conditioners provided for specific outlets, and they only work with 3-prong power cords. So an issue I ran into was that my compressor, it has its own transformer and is only 2-prong. One of these isn't going to work with it, but anything with a 3-prong connection, it will condition the ground signal and condition the power to help remove a lot of that static audio. So I've put one of these on my PC's power plug, which is plugged into my big UPS battery backup, and then I've plugged it into all of my individual components. The mixer board, the compressor, or not the compressor, I just said I couldn't do the compressor. The mixer board, the EQ, what else I got over here? The preamp, that's what I was missing. And like I said, my computer, and all of those are connected, and it stays pretty much ground free thanks to these. I just picked up a new compressor I'm going to be reviewing, so I grabbed another one of these Hum X's, but red light lights up to indicate the power is coming through. Plug it in, plug the outlet into here. You may need one of those little 1-foot power extension cables, because these are big transformer blocks that will take up space on a power conditioner, power strip, or outlet. But they have worked fantastic for me, and I'm super thankful to EBTech for reaching out and sponsoring this video. I don't think my power conditioner is doing a good enough job for me, so that's why I need these. And so essentially my power conditioner is just acting as a power strip. However, in many situations, the power conditioner may be good enough. EBTech also has a few other devices that you can hook up to specifically clean the audio out of the audio signal itself via 1/4 inch connectors, or if you're using 3.5mm connectors, connections, wow, that was weird, there's something else you can use as well. So first and foremost is a product that I have recommended since like 2012 or 2013, as soon as I found out about it. It's called a ground loop isolator, and it looks a little something like this. Now, if you've had 3.5mm audio connections from your computer's audio out jack, a console headphone jack, a monitor headphone jack, line in, any of the 3.5mm audio connections, running them between multiple PCs can end up giving you, or even from a monitor to like a recording device or a console headphone out to recording device, can give you quite a bit of static or electrical hum or some hiss. This does a pretty good job of removing that audio. You basically put it between two 3.5mm sources, and it's an isolator. It gets rid of the ground loop that's happening between the devices and cleans up the audio quite a bit. Now, they are one directional. They are specifically one direction. So it's male and female on the other end. And so they come both ways. And so you may need to make sure you get the right ones for your specific setup. And if you need a ton of them, it can get a little expensive. They're like $8 or $9 a pop, but they're well worth it. For any sort of mixer setup, they do a fantastic job of cleaning up audio. So this has been a few recommended ways to clean out static, hiss, hum, and artifacting and interference from your audio hardware if you're experiencing issues like that in your home studio setup. Again, sponsored by EB Tech. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you have any questions about this kind of thing, let me know in the comment section down below. It's a kind of complicated topic to talk about. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome tech videos, and I will catch you in the next one.
I also want to take a moment to give a huge thanks and shout out to our recent Patreon subscribers. Without you guys, these videos would not be possible, and I thoroughly appreciate your help. Visit patreon.com/EposVox to learn more.